Good day to you. Today I'm going to cover COS2614 2021 Semester 1 Assignment 1 Question 2, which is mostly trying to teach you about Qtext stream as well as using the Qt console. Alright, so first of all I have to open up my Qt creator program. I've already created the assignment, but I'm just going to go for demonstration purposes. I'm going to show you the steps that I followed. So I went to new project, I chose Qt console application, I said choose, and over here I gave it a name. So I'm just going to call this one 2614 S1Q2. Okay, click on next. Happy to leave it as the desktop Qt MinGW 32-bit. Next. I'm not adding any version control. I'm not wanting to configure it for anything else. I'm just going to click on finish. Okay, so this is the standard template that I get because I've chosen a console application. You can see it's got to include Q core application. Okay, and so to create a new header and footer, I normally just click on file, go to new file or project, and then I click on C++ and I say C++ class. So I say choose, and then the class name I just named it bottle. Okay, so you can see there it changes the names. I'm not trying to make it of any type of base class, so I'm just going to leave those as they are. Click on next, click on finish. It then creates a default constructor for me, and it also adds a default constructor for this bottle. So that's from that side. I'm going to open my existing project. If you also something that I failed to tell you is, if you have a look here at the Q Pro project, you'll notice that there's a minus here for GUI and there's a plus for the core. You can see the target name it gives it. It says it's a console, gives it an app, and then it adds my CPP files and my header files. Okay, so like I say, I've already got my project created. So I've created it over here with C. So I'm going to just choose this, open. Okay, I'm going to close this one so that we don't get confused. I'm going to say right click. Okay, I don't see that. Yeah, there. Close project. Okay, and now under this project I've got my QPro, which I created. Okay, I've got my header and I've got my 2 CPP. So this is my header file. I've got my default constructor here. I've got my 2 setters, one for capacity and one for quantity. I've got my getters, okay, and then I've got a full and an empty, and then I've got private variables that are integer types, and the one is capacity and the one is quantity. Okay, so this is now my declaration. On the default constructor, I initialize my 2 integer variables to 0. Okay, my setters, I say that if you call the set my capacity, you must pass me an integer variable, and then I will set my private variable m capacity to whatever the integer variable that you pass me. Same here with quantity. If you pass me an integer variable, I will then set my private integer quantity variable here. Okay, and then I've got my getters, which will return the values of whatever my private variables are, and then I've got an option here of full or empty. In my demonstration I haven't used these two, but I've got my getters and my setters. Okay, So on my main, this is my main. I have to include my header file, this bottle H file, so that it can bring all these constructors and the variables in here. Okay. I've also added a Q text stream so that I could use the cout and the cin commands. These are what is required, and this is what this assignment's trying to teach you. You can see I've left the Q core application as it is. I've created just one bottle and I've labeled it B1, okay, and then I've created two integer variables, one called cap and the other one called quant. That's for capacity and quantity. I've asked an output. I've said bottle 1 max capacity, and then set the capacity through my variable over here, and then also for the quantity, set the quantity variable, okay, and then so that will take it from the users, and then it'll pass it to my private variables, which is the set capacity and the set quantity, and then I use my getters to return what values the users input. So it's nothing as fancy as what you need, but for me this works. It will show you what I'm trying to achieve here. So you can see here what's the max capacity for bottle 1. I'm going to put 350. The quantity I'm going to make 100, and you can see here it says you set the capacity for bottle 1 to 350 and you set the quantity for bottle 1 to 100. And this is my program. I've changed this to return to 0 because in your command or your console, return 0 is sufficient. I hope that this has been helpful, informative and educational. Thank you for watching this COS2614. All the best with this module. Thanks. Goodbye.